From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Wednesday, November the 10th, 2021. It's your digital host, Louie B. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. And while you're here, wherever you found us, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, why don't you go ahead and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode of this show or any of the other great shows. And if you already subscribe, and if every time I say that on the show, you think, Lou, I subscribe, stop telling me to, well then, here's your task today. Go tell a friend who's a Ticats fan about this podcast and tell them to subscribe. So if you already subscribe, go get someone else to subscribe because we'd appreciate it. But we are happy to have you here on Ticats Today, getting set for the Ticats taking on the Toronto Argonauts in Toronto on Friday. And there is one thing I want to let you know. It's not game related. It's not, it's not practice related. But it's Go related, Go Transit related, because if you are going to the game via Go Transit from Hamilton, you might run into some issues. You might have to make some other plans, because there will be no train service on the Lakeshore West line from November 12th until at 10 p.m. until November 14th. So the last train leaving is at 10 p.m. on Friday. So just keep that in mind if you're going to take the GO train. I know that there was a Toronto City Councillor who was trying to get things changed, but as it stands right now, at last check, the GO train, last train will leave at 10 p.m. on the Lakeshore West line on Friday night. So if you're taking the Go Transit, it's something to be aware of for Friday's game. Just wanted to make sure I passed along that information to you. Coming up on today's show, we're going to hear from Coach O in just a little bit. We are going to hear from Jovan Santos-Knox, caught up with him after practice. Matthew Scianitti from the CFL at TSN is going to stop by as well. But before we get into all that, I've had a couple of people reach out to me on Twitter and have kind of asked, what's the playoff scenario? What could happen? There are 32 possible relevant combinations of results in the remaining, 2 weeks of the season. There are 5 things you need to know. And this was put together by the CFL. Number 1, Toronto has not yet clinched a home game. But, number 2, a Toronto win or tie clinches first place. So that's number 2. Number 3, a Toronto win or Montreal in Week 15 has Toronto at home. And a Hamilton win versus Toronto, Montreal lost to Winnipeg, means Montreal will finish third no matter what. Montreal cannot finish in first. There's a 12.5% chance of second. And this is all according to the CFL. As it stands right now, the most likely, again, statistical scenario, 62.5% chance for the Argos to finish first, 37.5% chance for the Ticats. Again, that's all percentage odds. I don't even understand that stuff. But what we need to know is that this is a huge game for the Ticats. And we asked Coach O about that after practice, whether that's discussed. But we started off just with his overall assessment of what he saw from the team at practice this week. Here's what he had to say after practice.
Well, yeah, I think their effort was very high, all week at practice. We're always striving to execute better, but I feel like they're focused. They understand the whole framework of what's going on, and I'm just excited to play. I feel like they're excited to play. I think they're about prepped out. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a huge game because it's the next game, right? Like both teams are going to have an opportunity to achieve their goals no matter what happens. Do we understand that, there's first place at stake and all that other, but if you start entering all that into your mind, you're not focused on the task at hand. Like in order for any of the other stuff on the outside to happen, you got to win the game, and you win the game by preparing and executing the best. And so that's kind of where the focus and our energy remains. They read stuff, they know what's at stake. Like, we don't hold meetings and say, if this, then this. And like, it's the next game. And it's fun because it is a rivalry game, and it's Toronto, and and it's great for the, sports entertainment thing, but, inside these walls, it's the next game, and we got a chance to get better. There's really nothing really to comment on, except for every time we take the field, no matter who we play, we expect to win. And I think that's what every football team does. So nothing changes for us. The difference is this isn't as important as it is. It's our next game and an opportunity to do and be better, and nobody's eliminated, and that doesn't mean there's coasting or it's okay to lose. We never have an approach like that. Our approach is, and our focus is on preparation. And then at the end of every week, there's a test. And so we're just preparing to pass the test. Yeah, Don will be a decision. We'll wait and see. We wanted to let something settle down. Obviously, that's why he wasn't out there. But that's really the update I have, right? Like, if he was well enough to go full go, but we also thought it wasn't in our best interest or his best interest to even limit him today, but just to let him relax.
That is the head coach of the Hamilton Ticats, Coach Steinauer, as we caught up with him after practice today. And, he says they're just focused on the next game. Next game is just a test, and he can't wait to get to that test. So, it's Coach O being Coach O. Let's hear from Jovan Santos-Knox. He's in his fourth season in the CFL. He played 2 years with the Blue Bombers. He played a year with the Elks, so he's seen some good CFL rivalries. He's been a part of the Banjo Bowl, Edmonton and Calgary. But we had to ask him about the Argos and Ticats rivalry, whether it was everything he expected it to be coming into Hamilton. They've played him 3 times now already. Here's what he had to say when we asked him about that after practice today.
100%. I believe it's the best rivalry in, the CFL. And being a part of it just solidified that to me. It's exciting. It's one that, you circle on your calendar, and there's not much love on both sides either way. So excited for this one. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think it goes unnoticed or untalked about in our locker room. We're always emphasizing how big of a game, not just this game is, but every game. And, just the time of the season we're in right now, this is playoff football. We've been in the playoffs. I like to say, the last couple of weeks now, we've been having to, every game's like a playoff game now. You got to be elevating your game. And, we just know this is a, big one. And it's sweet that it's against your rival. You know what I mean? It makes it that much better. Yeah, they're a high-powered offense. There's, big names all over that field, guys who've been, big names in this league. So, we know they got an explosive receiving core. They got a great, running back when DJ Foster's healthy. And, they show that they could, bring AJ in or, John White, when he's healthy. So, they got a really good offense and a really good team. We just need to limit what they do. Their explosive plays and take away what they like. Yeah, Dez is a baller, man. Just his confidence from day one since he stepped on that field. He, he's just, just sure in his talents and what his abilities, and you can see it out there. He plays with swag. He's talking out there. He's telling me things. You know what I mean? He's, he just shows you how involved he is in the game and how smart and how savvy he is when it comes to the game of football. It's exciting to see him, get comfortable. And I just. Because the sky's the limit for that kid. You know what I mean? There's no telling where he could take his game to.
That is Jovan Santos-Knox as we caught up with him after practice, talking about Ticats and Argos rivalry, just how big of a game it is on Friday, and showing some love to Des Lawrence. Desmond Lawrence is having a fantastic season. 9 games, 21 tackles, was sacked. He's got 2 picks as well. So, showing the love there. I'd always love to see that amongst the defense there. All right, want to get to this clip here because there was a brand new episode of Morelli and Hitch. They were joined by Adriano Belli, the Kissing Bandit, and it was a very special edition of Morelli and Hitch as they looked back on the life of Angelo Mosca. And of course, Morelli and Hitch, two Hamilton boys, obviously grew up watching, what he was able to do, and got to, be around Angelo Mosca and Adriano Belli as well, spending some time here with the Ticats. And I want to get to this clip here. This is from Adriano. He was a guest on Morelli and Hitch. The full episode available wherever you found this on the Ticats Audio Network. But great little story here from the Kissing Bandit on Angelo Mosca.
He was larger than life, but he taught me when I signed with the Cats. He said, "Look, you're going to be the biggest man on the field. If you walk and talk around like a pussy, then the rest of the small guys like Hitch and Morelli are going to act like little wusses, and we're going to lose the game. So you need to be a bully out there, Belly." And that was a kind of a page I wanted to take out of his book. I really felt, a guy like him, he was an amazing player, but he made everyone around him become a bully. And you and Hitch know, the little men, they're weak and they're weak-minded. And like you guys, you're like flowers. You go where the sun is. But when a big man is causing trouble, it makes you guys have a lot more confidence. And boy, did he have confidence.
Oh, man. And did you have confidence? Never mind. Now, he had talent, which was the big difference. Big difference in this situation.
Exactly. Well, the one thing, I learned from him, he said, my teammates and coaches gave me a longer leash, much as they did with him, because he was such a try-hard guy too.
Yeah.
And, nobody could ever dismiss how hard he would work and how he would want to just rip guys' heads off. And when you're a try-hard guy, they give you a longer leash. You can have a little bit more of a persona. I think Ange's persona was more of a tough guy than me. I was this kissing thing, which let me get away with a lot of stuff. But I learned so much from just being around Ange, and you guys were around him too. He was magnificent.
That is Adriano Belli as he joined Morelli and Hitch. The full conversation, great podcast, great new episode of Morelli and Hitch. Go check it out on the Ticats Audio Network. All right, very pleased now to be joined by my friend Matthew Scianitti from the CFL on TSN. And Matt, it's I would say it's a pretty big game on Friday for both these teams, wouldn't you say?
Pretty much decides who's going to be first in the East and who's going to host the East Final, if you ask me. And if you're Toronto, you want to do everything you absolutely can. Like, this is it's a must-win on both sides. But if you're the Argos, you absolutely need to beat Hamilton because Louis, you've certainly been there. You were there in 2019. I was there in 2019 and 2014. As soon as a visiting team, steps onto Tim Hortons Field in an East Final, the game is over before the kickoff. It's just the energy in that place, the vibe. Like it is hard to overcome. It is really tough. And the Alouettes in 2014 were overwhelmed by it as the game went on, and Edmonton was just steamrolled in 2019. So that is an extra factor, adding to the fact that the Grey Cup is, 4 weeks away? Yeah, I would, if I were Toronto, I'd be Ryan Dinwiddie going, whatever you do today is a playoff game. Like you beat them today, and we get a bye week, and we get time off. Not to say that there won't, if the Argos and Ticats met at BMO Field, that there wouldn't be Hamilton fans who would travel on the QEW or the GO train to make their presence felt at BMO. But Tim Hortons Field, with everything that's happening this year and the Grey Cup being there, yeah, if you're the Argos, you don't want that. You don't want an East Final there.
So, I mean, the Argos won last week when, Lewis Ward, who doesn't miss field goals, missed 3. The Argos lose by 3. A week earlier in Toronto again against the BC Lions, couple chances to win it. Chance to win it at the time expires, missed field goal. We can go back to the missed extra point in Toronto against the Ticats or with the Ticats, and the field goal to win it as time expired by 1. Are the Argos a first place team? I mean, I know they're in first place, but I mean those wins are they're wins. I mean, I guess that's the point. But are the Argos for real? Matt?
I think that's been the discussion over the last couple of weeks, Louis. At this point, I'm not entirely sure. Only because of the reason that when you look at their last 2 wins, holding off had it not been, as you rightly stated, not been for Lewis Ward having the worst game of his career, Ottawa would have won. And if not for the fact that Camacho had missed his kicks, BC would have won. So the Argos, might have been flirting with being, in third place. So you have to be lucky to be good. That's certainly an expression that is endeared in sports for a long time. But if you're Ryan Dinwiddie, as he's mentioned, like he goes, well, I know I have to be better and I have to be better. Oh, yeah, darn right he has to be better, because at this point, if the Ticats come out, which I think we all expect they will, on their winning streak, feeling confident, and in the wake of the death of the great Angelo Mosca. I know that place as well as you do, Louis. I've been in Hamilton for 11 years. Doesn't matter how long you've been a Ticat. There is only one standard that everyone asks you to meet in big games, and that is Mosca's standard. And, just riding the edge a little bit. And I close my eyes now and I can feel what that first quarter is going to be like on Friday, because there is going to be undoubtedly a lot of energy, a lot of anger, and a lot of purpose for the Ticats to win. And a lot of Steinauer would say, we've got a lot more to do in terms of being on assignment and executing. Of course, absolutely. But all the added elements at this point right now, you're going into that game and you're tilting it in Hamilton's favor.
You mentioned confidence, and someone who is certainly playing with confidence is Jeremiah Masoli. You've mentioned it. I mean, we've been around him a lot, but I mean, this stretch of games he's put together, the 0 turnovers, especially in the month of October there, he's protecting the ball, he's making things happen with his legs. Is this, and it's a pretty high bar for someone who's been here a while, but is this the best we've seen Jeremiah Masoli play in sort of this kind of stretch of games here?
I would say yes, only because of the quality of the competition, with the greatest amount of respect to Ottawa and Edmonton. I mean, I hesitate to say that only because you have to go out and win the games. There's no doubt about it. And Jeremiah's played fantastic, and the string of completions he's put together is great. And you can see that he's ripping it out there, and you see the confidence level. I'm not saying Jeremiah can play any better, but this is where you earn the paycheck. This is the game you earn the paycheck in. And, that's more metaphor than actual reality, because the Argos defense, although leaky and not the best in the league, is very aggressive and will be coming for Jeremiah. You can only imagine that a Cordero Law and Sean Oakman will be looking to get underneath Jeremiah Masoli's chin strap. And the one thing that Jeremiah has said over and over again to both of us is gaining confidence with his receivers, gaining confidence with Tim White and Stephen Dunbar, Poppy White, and even as much as he knows a guy like Jalen Acklin, seeing what Jalen Acklin's capabilities are. And to see Brandon Banks get a touchdown last week, just makes him feel all the more confident. I can only imagine. But this is the game now for Jeremiah, because remember, it wasn't, you hate to say it, but it wasn't Jeremiah who led the Ticats to the Grey Cup of 2019 of no fault of his own, because he had a knee injury. But this is his opportunity now to do what he couldn't do in 2019, which is continue to build on good form. Because when Jeremiah went out, arguably he was the best player in the league, and certainly was building off of performances and things that he had done in the previous year. So, this is his opportunity to, as it is for Samoy Loans, as it is for Brandon Banks. Like, this is when you look at the guys who've been on this team the longest, and that list is dwindling. We're now coming to a very, very important point. And that point is Friday, you beat the Argos, you likely secure the East Final in Hamilton, where the Grey Cup is going to be, and you only ratchet up the expectations. And this isn't about beating, two admittedly bad teams in Ottawa and Edmonton, or underachieving teams. This is about raising the level of expectation, because looming large is what happens in the West. And as much as we talk about, it's great to see all 3 teams in the East back. You want to be at your best. You want to keep growing, because if it's not Winnipeg, it's Saskatchewan. If it's not Saskatchewan, it's a surging Calgary team. Like, the West is no pushover. And, not saying that you can look any further beyond Friday, but the effort level that you put in Friday is just another indication of how hard you're willing to work, knowing that everything starts to get on the line, knowing that in a month's time, you could either be celebrating the greatest achievement of your career or still dealing with a lot of regret.
Matthew, what will be the difference in this game on Friday? What will be the winning team, whoever it is, will win because of what?
Protecting the football. A lot of people haven't discussed it yet, but the field at BMO Field is an issue, only because of the grounds crew puts a heck of a lot of sand on that field. And Michael Riley spoke about it when they played, and so did McLeod Bethel Thompson. Like, protecting the football is going to be huge. So when guys are picking the ball up, not only are picking the football up, they're picking a whole handful of sand. Knowing the pass rushes that are going to be coming on both sides, knowing that how intense this game is going to be, protecting that football, whether it's clear as it is today on Wednesday, or if it happens to be wet come Friday. I haven't looked at the forecast, but protecting the football is going to be huge because you can certainly say after that, 1A on that list is big plays, because the Argos have struggled, and we've seen McLeod Bethel Thompson be visibly upset when he doesn't hit his big plays downfield. And we've seen Jeremiah Masoli, certainly connect with Jalen Ackland in some big plays, and obviously Tim White and Poppy White. But protect the football is key, because momentum and advantages and field position is going to be so important. It's important every game, but it's going to be more important on Friday. But given the situation on the field where there's a lot of sand going on because of the grounds crew at MLSC and BMO Field and Toronto FC, plus the big play capabilities of both offenses and struggles, mind you, of one team over another, like protecting that football, maintaining momentum, time of possession, those all connect.
Matthew, appreciate this as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Louis.
My thanks to Matthew Scianitti for joining me, and my thanks to you as well. And just getting word here, as we were recording the show, congratulations to my friend Andy Fantuz and his lovely wife Amanda on the birth of their new baby. Andy's not going to be with us this weekend for the game broadcast. He is spending some well-earned time with his new daughter. So congratulations, Andy. Really happy for you, man, as a coworker, but more importantly, as a friend. Congratulations. Enjoy the time with your newborn, and congratulations to Abigail. And again, it's a mom, baby, all doing well. So wanted to wrap up the show with that great news. So congratulations, Fantuz, another Fantuz in the family. All right, that'll do it for us. Join us tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on the Ticats Audio Network. For the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louis B. Hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today with Louis B. Subscribe, like, and get your Ticats fix every weekday.